This is an opportunity for us to revisit a great artist. You revisit your past, your first connection, and what energized you about that connection. Every time I have reconnected with his films, and I've done that for 40 years now, I've always discovered new things in it. When I was about 19 years old, there was a lot of films being shown in Queens, there were a lot of film clubs, film societies, and one day I walked into a screening of Weekend. I came out at the end of that screening and I was so exhilarated. I didn't understand a thing that was going on in this film. It was so totally foreign to anything else I had seen. But I was so aware that I had seen something that was completely different and it was going to change my life. It was one of those moments where the scales kind of drop away from your eyes and you've seen something that is just energizing and exciting and vibrant. He was somebody who just questioned everything about cinema, all of our assumptions, and that's what really attracted me to him. He's the true rebel. He's like the James Dean of cinema. He's somebody who just took it all apart. He totally shattered my notion of photography, of cinema. He was the great questioner, the one who was asking always why? He was one of those people who started his career as a cinephile, as a critic. He was very much a filmmaker whose world was that of cinephilia, a world made up of having seen a lot of other films. He was constantly talking back to the history of cinema. Tarantino and Scorsese, I think, are exactly the same thing. Tarantino coming out of a video store, Scorsese with his huge love of cinema, constant ongoing love of cinema. They're pulling references, history from all of these various areas. I think those are filmmakers who are in love with the history of cinema. They're filmmakers who have synthesized so much of what is going on in contemporary culture. I think we all have the notion of what a well-constructed narrative film looks like. It's basically a piece of fiction that's laid out in front of you. And Godard's work is so different. He throws all those assumptions up into the air and says, why? Why does it have to be a conventional story? Why does it have to be in order? Why does it have to give you the sense of an illusion of looking at a real world? I'm going to actually fracture all of those notions. I'm going to repeat sequences. I'm going to force you as a viewer to be aware that you are actually watching a piece of cinema. Through his entire career, there's moments where you constantly find new challenges. In the period of the 60s, Contempt, Pierrot le Fou, Weekend, Vis-a-Vis, the period is so relentlessly rich. The growth that he underwent as a young man in a 10-year period from 1959 to 1967-68 is beyond extraordinary.